Sylvia Boorstein once said, "Mindfulness is the aware, balanced acceptance of the present experience. It isn't more complicated than that. It is opening to or receiving the present moment, pleasant or unpleasant, just as it is, without either clinging to it or rejecting it." To embody that nurse, Andrew needed to draw from his patterns of knowing. Barbara Carper describes, "To know the self involves the uniqueness of each situation and be able to encompass personal knowledge as subjective, concrete, and existential." Nevertheless, Christopher Johns would describe Andrew's predicament, in this in-between space of Dr. X and Dr. P, to have abandoned his philosophy of ethical mapping, in turn providing for an opportunity to view competing perspectives in a neutral manner, interfaced between ethical principles and the ethics of the situation. That nurse might have used the ethical mapping to give voice to the physician who was silenced, thereby facilitating further discourse. Yet, to become the transformational leader required of Andrew, that nurse must continue to strive consistently to embrace the 13 capacities from which Richard Schuster has constructed his framework. By holding a vision which stimulates intellectual growth and allowing for people to hear, Schuster theorizes we can develop a strong character which will allow us to align our words without power egos. Hence, the courage to resolve conflict. Advancements in technology continuously shape human life. The problem is that no other specialty in medicine and no other profession, besides perhaps the Navy SEALs, must have these types of highly trained people who are forced to turn off their humanity in order to get their job done. According to Andrew, I realize now that values of being that nurse requires to have a clear understanding that patients are participants in their care and not objects of care. As a lead clinical nurse, I was advocating for my staff, he says. I was protecting their well-being and allowing them to continue to hold on to hope until everyone in that room felt they had done their best. It was therapeutic, healing, and a labor of love